News 46. Local coverage you can count on.
Of Community Viewpoint. I'm here tonight with Lieutenant Anita Smith from the Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue, and I'm John Pollock, and Maria will be on the second segment, or she'll be here next week, whatever happens. We're here for the annual Fire Prevention Month and the Fire Prevention Week. Hopefully this will be broadcast within the week. We'll be okay with that. It's between October 9th and the 15th. Fire Prevention Week started, I believe, in 1871, back where I came from, Chicago, with Mrs. O'Leary's cow, as the legend goes, kicked over a lantern, and there were, what did it say, killed, 250 people were killed in the fire, 100,000 homeless. They destroyed 17,400 structures and burned more than 2,000 acres. And, the fire began October 8th, and it was over with on the following day. So that's why Fire Prevention Week is always commemorated on the week that has, in October, that has October 9th in it. So we have a lot of education that's done by the fire department in town here, and Lieutenant Smith. It's her job to get the information out to the schools, to the people out here. And what do you want to start with? What do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about the big culprit, the smoke detectors?
Sure.
Okay, let's start with that. And what should we do with them? And should we respect those?
Oh, we should respect them. The first thing we should do is have them.
Yes.
That's the first step. A lot of places that we go to, we see that they don't have smoke detectors in their houses. And it's quite important that they have these, especially outside of bedrooms, in the kitchen area. Definitely important to have those in your house. So that's the first step.
Some people go by the smoke alarm when it goes off, and your meal is done in the oven. But in new homes, I believe it's my home, I have a fire smoke detector in every bedroom. Is that code now? Or not necessarily?
That's the International Building Code, and I'm not as familiar with that as much as the fire code, but the building codes do specify, and if that's where they're putting them on the new construction, then that's definitely what the building code is saying.
Yes, and I have one in the hallway. I have a two-story hallway upstairs, hallway downstairs, one by the kitchen to let you know when the meal is done.
The meal's done. Definitely important though to have them in the bedrooms and the hallways, and then outside of the kitchen even is okay. Not directly over your stove.
Yes.
But yeah, it's very, very important to have them.
Also, fire extinguishers in the home. Oh, yes. Fire extinguishers. I have one over the oven in the cupboard up there. I have one sitting up there. I have one upstairs next to the master bedroom. And one or two per home is good.
They say that you should at least have one in your kitchen area, maybe underneath the sink, next to the stove somewhere. But what we want people to realize is a fire extinguisher is for a very small controllable fire.
Yes.
If you have a large fire that looks like it's going to take a long time to put out, we don't even really want people to attempt it. We just want them to get out.
Right.
Let us come and take care of it.
Right. Something in a wastebasket or something, or
little wastebasket fire, then extinguisher can take care of that. But fire does grow very rapidly. And, it's typically the smoke that harms people and renders them unconscious. So very, very important that we don't stay too long in the fire.
Yeah, or if your dog's on fire, try to get him out first.
Yeah, don't go after anything.
Yeah.
Just get out.
So the smoke detectors and fire extinguishers. What else should we be looking forward
Obviously,
to the homes?
the batteries in the smoke detectors are extremely important. What we try to do is tell people that every time that you change your clocks with the time schedule, you should change the batteries in your smoke detector. Even if they're hardwired, it doesn't make any difference. If you have a fire in your home, you're asleep, the fire could knock the power out.
Right.
So once the power is out, if you don't have a good battery and a smoke detector, it won't go off and it won't alert you of a fire incident. So even if they are hardwired, it's extremely important to keep the batteries in and to change them 2 times a year.
Right. And those are, most times, the hardwired ones are the 9 volts. This one is not, it's 9 volt, but you'll have double A's?
No,
Or is it
they're
mostly
typically
9?
the 9 volts.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
what I'm used to. Okay, I just, yeah, okay.
Yeah, typically 9 volts.
And they also have, I was at Home Depot, they have the combination smoke detector and carbon monoxide. Now, carbon monoxide would be more so if you have gas appliances,
Correct.
or if you have a garage that's attached to the home, possibly.
Sure. You have to remember, carbon monoxide is it's a gas that's created by the process of incomplete combustion. So there has to be some type of fire burning somewhere, combustion process somewhere, such as your car, to have carbon monoxide gas. So if you don't have anything except for electricity in your house, then obviously you wouldn't need that.
Right. So don't let anybody try to sell you anything else. If it's an all-electric house, pretty much just go with the electric smoke detectors. Now, if you have a gas stove, you have a gas
Any of those
fireplace,
things,
yeah, then it would behoove you or us to have a carbon monoxide smoke detector combination.
And even a wood burning fireplace would be the same thing, because
Yes,
there's
yeah.
still combustion and fire there. So
Yeah, that's very, very important. And outside of the house too, the defensible zone and shrubbery should be kept away from the home.
Yes, very important to keep the home upkept. A lot of tumbleweeds in the area. When those tumbleweeds gather up next to a home, it takes one careless act, and you can have a large fire.
Let's see what else. You shouldn't be fighting a fire with a hose.
If you need a hose to put the fire out,
Then you need
should
the fire
really
department.
be calling us.
Yes.
You should really be calling us. Again, we always recommend that you have a fire extinguisher in the house. If you have a small fire, you can quickly extinguish it, but you need to call us first and then try to extinguish a fire. If you try to extinguish it first and then you make notification to the fire department, you've delayed our response for quite some time.
Yeah.
So call us first. If we get there and the fire's out, guess what? It's all good. It's fine. But if you wait until you've attempted to put the fire out and then call us, then we have the potential for not only injuries and deaths, but the loss of your property as well.
Right. And you're going into the classrooms?
We are going into the
You
classrooms.
do that every year. And what are you doing this year?
This year we're doing a little more focus on juvenile fire setters. Every year that we go into the schools, we try to make sure that we tell the kids, if their clothes catch on fire, we stop, drop, and roll. Things like, smoke alarms, smoke detectors, and things like that. We always try to convey that. This year, we're trying to really get into the nit and gritty of why we have juvenile fire setters.
Okay.
Why, and we want to find out why they're setting fires. So we want to really focus on the kids this year and try to really make them understand that the acts of starting fires and playing with fire in matches is a deadly game that they're going to lose.
And what grades are you attempting to get the instruction to?
Well, we will for sure be in K through 5.
Right.
This really targets the mean kids, not mean in personality, but the mean age.
Yes.
Okay. This covers the age that we're really trying to target and focus, because these are our typical fire setters. But hopefully we're going to do something with the middle school as well and get in there and talk to them.
Okay. Let's see what else you have. You have the...
Well, we're going to be delivering this to the school. I don't know if you can see that, but this is a little paper that we get from Sparky and the National Fire Protection Association, and it just reminds kids that they need to not only test their smoke detectors every month, but to change the batteries once a year or twice a year.
Do you have extra copies of this?
Sure, I can leave you this one if you like.
Why don't you do that, and we'll tell the people that these will be available at the public library, and I'll make those available near the front door. So if you want to bring your kids in and give these to them, that'd be great, because we'll have these. Yeah.
The other thing I have here is a home fire escape plan. And the one thing that people need to realize is we can only be successful if we have a total buy-in by the family of the children as well.
Yes.
So we want the parents to really sit down with their kids, and just so you parents know at home, your kids are going to be bringing this home. We want you to grab this and go over this with them and say, okay, what are we doing? They're supposed to make a drawing of their house, and they should always know at the minimum of 2 ways out of their home in case there were a fire. So obviously, your front door may be your primary exit, but then there needs to be a backup in case that's blocked by fire or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
So we want you to actually practice this with your kids so that they know 2 ways out of their house without fail.
Okay, great.
So we're going to be bringing those, and again, we're going to be talking about the dangers of playing with fire.
So how's it been this past year? Have we gotten worse with the fires this year, or?
Well, I think we're starting to recognize more where our challenges are.
Mm-hmm.
We do have some juvenile fire setters in this valley, and we're working with them diligently to get them in some programs to help them out.
So these are when you're saying juvenile fire setters, you've found them,
Oh yes.
and you're
Every fire that occurs in this valley, we have a legal responsibility to investigate. Once we investigate those fires, hopefully it leads us to the actual cause, whether it be accidental or intentional. When it's intentional, we are sometimes coming across juvenile fire setters. So there are programs available in this valley, and we're trying to get those kids the help that they need and the support that they need and the support that the parents need as well to deal with it.
the parents may be liable sometimes.
Um,
That would be the court system.
I don't want to talk out of turn.
Yeah, but yeah, you have that possibility. So be careful. Just like many other things that your son or your daughter may do, you may be responsible for. If they take the car
Sure.
without your and not being able to be insured and things like that. So be careful with things like that. How was the season this spring with the weeds? Did we get by with a decent summer with the weeds?
We didn't do too awfully bad. We still have some target hazards, but we're identifying those and working through the system that we have.
Now remember then when you're standing on the side of the road too, as we're after October 1st, so we can't talk on the cell phones when we pull off the side of the road. Remember, if you're not on pavement or asphalt, if you're on the brush, we may start a fire because of our catalytic converters or our exhaust. So be
The other part of that is
cognizant of that.
four-wheelers and ATVs off-road in the desert.
Yes.
Those exhaust systems do get hot, and if they run over a large amount of brush, they could actually start a fire.
Mm-hmm. And is this October? When does the burn season start? Is that November?
Hasn't been identified yet. The date hasn't been identified, but it's typically right around the November area. It'll be announced.
Right, and then when we do that, we have to be set up with the fire department because we have to call.
You have to have a permit.
Yeah, if you don't know what to do, that means you don't have a permit. So call the what's the number 751?
It's 727
727.
5658.
That's the non-emergency number for the what do we call that? Burn.
Well, that's the main fire department number, and then there'll be an option for the burn desk. I believe it's option 2.
Okay. So remember, later in the fall, winter, and the spring is when we can burn, and you'll get the particulars when they sign you up for it. And
We'll make sure we make it done.
yeah, and there's things, the restrictions like the wind, 5 miles or more.
Well, what we do is we tell you to, once you have a burn permit, just give us a call. You have to call us every morning and notify us that you're actually going to burn. And when you do that, there'll be a recording to tell you whether the conditions are favorable or not.
Okay.
So what we have to remember is conditions are different throughout the valley. So if we have extended or high winds in one area of the valley, we can't just exclude that one area. We have to shut all the burns down.
Right.
So, but it will be on the recording.
Okay. Well, I thank you very much for coming with us down the road to fire prevention for this year, November 9th through the 15th, or October 9th through the 15th. Yeah. And so this is Lieutenant Anita Smith. You'll see her in our schools, our K through 5, and we'll have these little brochures at the library here for the youngsters to take home. And once again, I thank you, and I thank you for watching. And remember to change the batteries twice a year. All right, thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. And welcome back to Community Viewpoints. I'm your host, John Pollock, and this is my co-host, Maria Hurst. As you can see, we have the lovely Paula Glidden with us.
Hello.
Good evening. Good evening. Hello.
From PAVED, also the, PAVED did the
From Fair and Festival.
Fair and Festival. Did I get that right?
I think we're so used to calling it
Well, people still call it the Harvest Fest, and
Right,
I don't even want to correct them.
the fair at
No,
the
I know.
park,
Yep, that's right.
the Prump Fair and
That's
Festival.
right. We tried all those names, but we've settled on the Prum Fair and Festival.
So she'll,
That's simple and to the point.
Well, the Harvest Festival was back when, and they kept their name. And then the town copyrighted the Fall Festival, so we had to come up with a new name, and that was when we came up with Fair and Festival.
I
And we
like
think
it.
it describes what we do, so
Yeah.
that's why we do it.
so,
like it.
yeah, so let's ask Paula, we only have 15 minutes because the other 15 minutes is dedicated to Fire Prevention Week, and we have Lieutenant Anita Smith on speaking about that. And so, Paula, we have all these different sections to talk about. How did the parade go? We had a lot of issues with that.
Well, actually, we shouldn't have had a lot of issues, but, there's sometimes negative that builds in this town, and we have to get around it. We did, and we had a great parade. We had about 72 entries. We had 17 floats. The Miss Senior Nye County Starlets won. They took first place,
Oh.
and they had a great float. And the theme this year was Come On, Get Happy, and they certainly did. They were wonderful and very vibrant and very pretty that morning.
And who took second?
You're going to ask me that, aren't
Oh,
you?
well, I know P.A.V.E.D took third.
You know, Peter, that's right. That's
And,
right.
but I can't
I'm
remember who
blanking
took
on second. But
Well,
we'll find that out,
congratulations
yeah.
to all
They,
of them.
they did a great job, all of them. And the fun part is they just love to get out there and get their entry in and go from there. It's great. And we have the judges come in and, it's a quick half hour, but they judge them and we get them awarded up and onward they go. So we're happy to have them. We may change a little bit of the parade for next year. We'd like to do more floats. The more floats, the merrier, basically. And we've talked about this for years, but really going to try to adopt it for next year. And we'd like to see maybe some businesses sponsor groups, such as maybe the Boy Scouts or the Cinderella Girls or whoever. And then they could be a collaborative effort, which I think would be great for the town and the people and fun to watch.
It's always easier when more people are helping, so teamwork is always good.
Absolutely.
And,
And they all seem to have, I'm sorry, John.
yeah, we only have 15 minutes.
They all
Come on.
seem to have a lot of fun watching it. Everybody
Yeah.
in the parade, everybody had a lot of fun, and the people going, of course, had a lot of fun.
I think so. We had a lot of good comments. There's always some folks that thinks, that there's gaps and things like that, but we have no control over that. Once they leave, they're kind of on their own, and we do have marshals along the way, but sometimes they don't all listen properly, so it's just fun. It's just an hour and a half or two of watching your town go by, and I think it's a great thing for everybody.
Yeah, it was really cute. I enjoyed it.
Okay, let's move on to the next topic, entertainment. You have a lot of entertainment.
We had a lot of entertainment this year, and we have it's always live, and that's another thing we may be changing up a little bit for next year. We may get more into a DJ type thing and more contests, a little more down home kind of things than just music all day long. It's fun to have, but it's costly. That particular element of the festival costs us around $23,000. And that's, for the soundboards and the music and the backdrops and the stage and everything. It gets costly. So we're just trying to look where we can punch it up a little bit and make it better. I will tell you, though, that the overall festival was very positive. We actually made money this year, more than we even did when we worked with the town over a couple of years. We conservatively made over $10,000, which, again, is
Very
money
cool.
for the town's fairground, and that means our fairground, collectively our fairground. So hopefully we can put that forth and get that rocking this year. We really are going to put a real strong effort forth on that this year.
That's awesome.
So we would hope everybody would support that and let us know, because that's kind of what we're working for. This whole thing is a volunteer effort.
no one gets paid, and despite the rumors, none of us get paid. And
I
it's just
remember that for many,
yeah,
many
Maria,
years.
You did it too, Maria. I know.
Years. But I mean, you've been hanging in there for.
I know, it's pretty
years
silly,
and
isn't
years.
it? This is my 11th year doing it.
Oh my
And
gosh.
That's right.
it just keeps getting crazier. As September seems to be beat up on the festival month.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to get around that. We learn and we do things every year that you learn and you get better at. And that's what we're hoping for. Just a good festival. And honestly, what we heard from the people that participated was just good things. I'm sure there's a negative out there, but we don't try to dwell on the negative. We did
Oh, you
work with the
don't?
no,
Very
we don't.
good.
We don't try to
Okay,
dwell
great.
on the negative, so I'm not going to do that.
Give me five of those. There you go.
And
Yes.
We're all about the positive
that's
here.
right, positively perump and positive forces. But the long and the short of it is, we had a good festival. People told us that. The vendors said they'd be back. There were a few that had issues along the way. I'm not denying that. The fact of the matter is, every vendor that comes into the park, and we had about 169 of them, get their own little world. They're their own little concept, and you have to learn to deal with them. And you might need one thing, and Maria doesn't, and I need a different thing. So we've learned that, you have to deal with them individually, and they eventually end up happy and, settled.
Everybody
So we're
seemed
about that.
happy.
I was
They
happy.
made
We're walking around.
I tell you, they thanked us, more than one of them. Every one of them going out of that park that night. We were in the registration area, and every one of them coming out of there was, thank you, see you again next year. So,
That's cool.
there could be the negatives, but we didn't talk with them and they didn't stop by, so I don't know.
Okay.
But they'll be back.
Coming off the entertainment, you had some contests over there? You were
Yeah,
talking
we
about?
did. We had the mustache contest
Yeah.
and the
Did
ladies.
you enter that?
No.
You should have.
What's the name of the Jasperson? Was he there?
No.
Because he's got it.
I am so sorry to not bring those names because it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I have to thank Deanna from the Channel 41 here that kind of ran those contests. She was a great announcer and she got those folks involved.
Oh
and
my God, yeah.
Got everybody spirited up there, and we had the sexy legs contest and the ladies bonnet and the crazy kid shoes. So everybody had a little fun and won a little trophy, and I think it was a lot of fun. But the main one was the Prompt Idol. And that was the finals for that at the park. And Buck Steele won for that. I don't know if you know Buck, but I think he works at one of the auto places, the supply places. And he sings great. So he won the trophy plus $250. So
Oh,
he's,
nice.
Great.
yeah. So we had a good time with that.
Nice.
Okay, let's see, what else we ask you about the vendors?
Oh, vendors.
You got
Well,
169?
we talked a little bit.
169, but actually they take up over 220 spaces because some of them buy doubles or
Doubles,
triples,
right.
and stuff like that. And then we had the Craft Corral this year, which was a local spot. We had, I think, 14 vendors in there that were just locals that make handmade items there. So it's a kind of a special little nook that they can present their stuff, and we kind of help them with their insurance, and they don't have to go out and go through all the the insurance
Right.
squabbles that the rest of the vendors usually have.
That's
So-
really nice because it's a local event.
That's right.
That's sometimes we were talking about this with some friends over the weekend that sometimes because especially I really hate this about I keep bringing up, well, I don't keep doing it, but everybody keeps bringing up the economy, but the unemployment rate
That's
is
huge.
high here, and
That's huge.
for some people this is like their theme park visit.
Right,
This is
right.
the time when they go out
Right.
and they have fun and they're able to go get some stuff, shop, go on rides, they're able
Take
to
their kids.
yeah, they're
Yeah,
able to spend
yeah.
good family time and get out there and enjoy everything. And so it's nice for the local people to get out and show their stuff because this is probably one of their only opportunities to get out and share these great things that they have to share with the community. So
That's true. John and I talked about that earlier, and we said it is a venue for the families. A lot of them came and they set up their tents and they
Yeah.
spent the day and
Yeah.
they enjoyed the music and the kids were in the park, and it just is a lot of
It's
fun.
family, it's comfortable, yeah.
yeah, it's
And,
really cool.
Yeah, you make it feel like family, yeah. So, yeah, it's comfortable, yeah. So
And
we appreciate that.
It kind of goes to where you see over time there's been good things happen, tragedies happen. This town really does come together, and this town really is a family. So that's a place for the town family to
Absolutely,
get together
yeah.
and see each other.
We did
And-
not do a lot of advertising in Vegas this year, just because of the economy. And I hate to say that, Maria, but that is true. You know, it does join into the whole concept. But yet we got a lot of folks this year. So we know it's the locals that are supporting it and want to support it and want to be there. They don't want to travel.
Right. So we have to move right along.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
Rodeo? went
Rodeo
well?
was excellent, at least in my opinion. I know, it was a rodeo out of Utah, or Colorado, I'm sorry, and they brought down 3 sets of bull riding. We had the mini bulls. I don't know if any of you were there, but it was a lot of fun. Everybody loved those mini bulls. They're full-grown bulls, but they are just smaller, but they're meaner. And they just come out of that gate and they're crazy.
It's the small complex.
Yes, it is, probably. And I don't know, we had a lot of fun. The rodeo was good. I think generally the rodeo guys said it was a good rodeo. No real negative. And it just went smoothly. So, I mean, those arena guys, the arena committee and the rodeo guys, and all the women that work down there, the volunteers, amazing how smooth they make it look. Just boom, 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 boom. And next thing you know, it's over. So
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun.
I heard everything good about the rodeo.
Yeah, good.
Everything I heard was good.
I mean, we'd still like to get the PRCA back, and we're going to look at that again. But costs are what always determine it, so we'll see. We'll see.
Carnival went well?
Carnival was great.
Excellent.
Carnival was packed. Saturday night was an exceptional night down there, and everybody was out. Weather was great. It cooperated. Friday night, it started to rain during the rodeo.
Yeah.
Not
We're
for
all like,
long, though.
Oh, no. But, no, not for long, and it was just a drizzle. But then Saturday was perfect, so everybody came out for that carnival, and it was just packed.
Okay, and we've only got a minute left. The arts and crafts, even though it was at a different venue, it went
Right.
well?
Went great. People visited down there, and even though we had to have it at the museum due to the Root Center, we got through it, and people attended, and of course the great arts and crafts and the 4-H people and the master gardeners, they all had their stuff out. It's really pretty stuff, really nice.
And you had some ideas about next year? Before we
Well,
leave?
like I say, we're going to change a few things. Rodeo,
What's new for next year?
yeah. Hopefully the entertainment will probably change a little bit.
Okay.
And we'd like to have more volunteers. We'd love to have you sign up and join us. I know a lot of people came on at the very end and said, we'll join you. So hopefully they will.
How can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can call the PAVED office, which is 775-990-4043. Contact any one of us. We're always around. And I'd be happy to have you.
And
Thank you
could-
so much.
You can see us at 46.3 at 6:30 p.m. And I think we're just about out of
Yeah.
time. Thank you, Paula. I
Oh,
wish we had more time
thank
this
you.
evening.
No,
But
that's great.
thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next week.
Thanks.